Good morning. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, student body, and alumni of Hornet Nation, I want to welcome you to this virtual press conference. Today is a great day for Alabama State University men's basketball as we usher in the Mo Williams era. Coach Mo Williams, we're excited about you coming to Alabama State University. I'd like to thank our AD, Jennifer Lynn Williams, and the selection committee and commend them for a job well done. Mr. Williams, welcome to Hornet Nation. We're truly excited about basketball season. Go Hornets.
Good morning, Hornet Nation. Welcome to our virtual press conference introducing Coach Mo Williams as the head men's basketball coach of the Alabama State University. I would first like to thank our search committee, which consisted of Coach Larry Watkins, Vladimir Averett, Rob Spivey, Shay Terrell, Terrence Jones, and myself. The process was a thorough process, which we had over 80 plus applicants apply for the position. The committee vetted each applicant, and Coach Mo Williams stood atop of that list, checking every box when we looked at the criteria we wanted in our next men's basketball coach. At this time, I would like to welcome Coach Mo Williams. We cannot wait to get him here on campus in person to give him some of that Bama State love. But at this time, let's formally welcome Coach Mo Williams as the head men's basketball coach of Alabama State University.
At this time, we're going to allow Coach Mo Williams to come in. Coach, we'll go to you for an opening statement, and then we'll open the floor for questions.
First off, I want to just express how excited I am for this opportunity. First off, I want to go without leaving anyone out. President Ross, I want to thank him. I want to thank AD Williams and her staff, the committee, board of directors, and everyone else that was involved with making this decision. Everything that I've set out to do in my life and goals, I always try to achieve it at a high level. I'm excited to be a part of the Hornet Nation.
Coach, we appreciate that. Before we open the floor for questions, just another housekeeping item. We're aware that the APR sanctions came out yesterday. If you need that statement, that is how we're going to address that in this press conference. This press conference is about Mo Williams joining the Alabama State family. If you need that statement about the APR sanctions and the statement from Ms. Williams, we will be glad to send that to you via email. We also have Ms. Williams and President Ross in the room. If there's a question for either one of them at any point during the press conference, please let us know. But at this point, we'll open the floor for questions. Adam Solomon, if you can go ahead. You can unmute yourself, Adam.
There we go. Coach, Adam Solomon with Alabama News Network. First question, how did Alabama State come onto your radar, and were you necessarily targeting states that you had ties with or that you had played ball in the past?
Well, absolutely. Alabama State, it was very interesting job for me. Obviously, I'm a young coach, and I want to give it a start and want to get in head coaching. It was an opportunity somewhere where I'm very comfortable. I have a lot of connections. I have ties down there. My family is from Mobile. My mom was born and raised. My dad is from Mississippi. Went to the University of Alabama. I just thought it was a great fit on both sides. They're getting a young, hungry coach that wants to be successful, and it's vice versa. Coming from the university, they have high hopes. They want to bring that program back to prominence, and I'm that guy.
Okay, we'll go to Andre.
What's going on, Coach? Andre Terrell with the Montgomery Advertising. Just as far as filling the shoes of Coach Jack, who's here for 15 years and plays college ball here, and someone that had an extended tenure and relationship with the university, what is the approach for you coming in and kind of establishing a new culture or identity for your team, considering the history of who was there before?
Well, I'm a guy that lives in the present. The past is the past. those guys did a great job. 15 years, that's a long time. 16 years before that. I'm stepping in this game just bringing what I bring to the table, my culture, my kind of type of guys, and the overall goal is to be successful. Recruit great kids, both on and off the court. That's for one, and turn these kids into men. Mentor them, be someone in their life where they can look up to. Show them the way, and my overall goal is to make sure these kids graduate and become something in life.
All right, James, we'll go to you next.
All right. Welcome to the SWAC Coach, James Red with SWAC TV. And just had a question about your upbringing. You spent your high school days in Jackson. How important was the SWAC in influencing you that college was an option, and the style of play that you saw as a kid going to SWAC games?
Well, it's a great question. My family is SWAC, all SWAC. My mom, SWAC, my dad, SWAC, my older sister, SWAC, my little brother, SWAC. I mean, it's a family tradition, going to football games, going to basketball games. I mean, it's in my blood, so that aspect of it is familiar to me. It's no shock, anything. I was prepared. I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm excited to go to the football game. I'm excited to go to the basketball games, track, and all the sports. I mean, it's something that I enjoy. I did it as a kid, grew up around it. I always bragged about it, even when I was at other places, even professionally, always talking about you don't have an experience until you go to the HBCU football game, the halftime show, all those type of memories that I do have as a kid growing up in Jackson around HBCU. And my dad, he don't miss a game to this day. So he's always around. So he's excited. My family's excited. So it's excitement going all the way around.
All right, we'll kick it over to AD Drew. Go ahead, AD.
Coach, how's it going this morning?
How you doing?
All right. Coming in with this new environment with COVID-19, obviously, first of all, as a first-time head coach, but just as a head coach in general, everything has changed. What is going to be your approach as you go into this post-COVID-19 world, as far, especially this year, getting out on the recruiting trail that you aren't able to use the traditional method? So what's going to be your approach this year?
That's a great question, but the beauty of it is every college institution has the same issue. So for us, we just making sure that we communicate, make sure we communicate every single day, make sure we understand what we need to get accomplished. So, and stay abreast on everything that's happening as far as the COVID, getting information, understanding where we are, when we'll play, when the kids can get back on campus. So we're doing all that due diligence and just trying to stay ahead of the curve, with that being said. But we just react, to the information that we're given, and we just kind of move forward from that.
All right, we'll kick it back to James. James, go ahead again.
Coach, you've been tutored by Mike Godfrey, Jared Sloan, Ty Lue. What type of coaching style can we see from Mo Williams?
Well, absolutely. Every coach is, you have your style. Obviously, I love to play fast. I love to get up and down, but very structured half-court offense, because that's how you win championships. But defensively, we got to be really good. We got to rebound the ball. We got to have less low turnovers, and we got to make our free throws. That's something that every great team has to do. But at the same time, you always have to adjust to your team. You got to play to the strengths of your team, and that changes with personnel. So at the same time, we'll play to our strengths. Whatever that strength may be, we'll figure it out. Get in the gym, put these group of kids together, let them battle, and we'll figure out what we got. The cream always rises to the top.
All right, Andre, go ahead.
One second. Coach, speaking of that, who have you kind of gone to for insight, or what guys are you using to kind of mentor you or walk you through kind of this first time as being a head coach, and just picking their brains on things of that nature?
Well, that's the beauty of, relationships. I have relationships with a lot of guys that's been in this world, as far as D1 world. And I have over 90 years combined of head coaching experience that I lean on, Mark Garford being one, Jim Herrick being another, and, multiple other guys. Avery Johnson is another that was just at Alabama a few years back. And those guys helped me. I have guys that, have been in administrative role and different opportunities that arose to them, obviously helped me in a lot of ways. And in head coaching, obviously, there's a lot that comes with it, and I'm prepared for it. I have the mentors around me if I need help. But most importantly, I have a team that's around me at Alabama State that I felt really comfortable with going to battle with as a team, because we're going to do it together. I don't have all the answers. I have enough, but I don't have them all.
All right, we'll go Dwayne Nash, and then we'll go back to James. James, you'll be after Dwayne. Dwayne, go ahead. Dwayne, you ready for your question?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was having problems unmuting
No,
myself.
go ahead. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that's fine. Greetings, Coach. This is Dwayne Nash from the Yard HBCU Sports. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm great. My question is, how does your current personnel, in terms of the players that you currently have on the roster, fit with your current philosophy, with your coaching philosophy? I'm sorry.
Well, like I said, we haven't been in the gym. All I got is, film and watching them play. But obviously, it'll be a different style. Different players respond to different styles. So, for me, I don't want to comment on guys before I really get them in the gym, before they get in my system, before they get under my tutelage. So I don't think that's fair to them. But I do like the makeup of the roster. I do like the guys that's coming back. I think we can be really successful. I'm looking forward to getting the opportunity to get these guys, in the gym face to face, so I actually can really see what they have to offer.
All right, James, you're next, and then we'll go back to AD Drew after James.
Coach, you had 13 years in the association. You earned that right to say that you could retire early. When did the coaching bug hit you? And what are the things that you enjoy about coaching that helps you say, I want to put myself through the coaching experience?
Well, I knew I wanted to coach my third year in the NBA. I took a volunteer job in the summer coaching a 14U AAU team, took them to Orlando, took them, a few places across the country, and got that experience and got the bug. And therefore, that led to me starting my own youth program where I had kids as young as 8 years old all the way through high school. Played on the Nike circuit where the EYBL with the top players in the country. And I did that for 7 to 8 years. And that's when I knew the next level was going to Division I level where we are today. So I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm excited for, obviously Alabama State believing in me, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity, like I said before.
All right, AD, go ahead, Drew.
All right. Can you hear me, Coach?
I can hear you.
All right. A couple hours after they announced that you were going to be the head coach at Alabama State also landed a big-time recruit in Trace Young. Was that something that was already in the works before you got there? Was this your doing and he followed you? Can you kind of elaborate on that as much as you can?
Well, it's a great kid. It was a big commit for the university. It was great, but that just came about. God is good. I got the job, and that day that conversation was had, and he believed in the things the direction that I wanted to go and the vision that I had for him. And he took a leap of faith. A lot of those other schools had time in there because I wasn't around. I didn't have the job yet. And as soon as we made it official, I reached out to him, had a great conversation with him, and he took a leap of faith. So the commitment is there. So we're looking forward to getting him signed.
We'll go Ronald Wallace, and then we're going to go to you, Sam. Go ahead, Ronald. All right, while we're waiting on Ronald, Sam, go ahead and you can ask yours. I know I saw your hand raised as well.
Hey, Coach. Sam Amico from Sports Illustrated.
What's going on, Sam? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you? I covered you up here in Cleveland for a little bit, and we got along just fine then, so we should now too, I guess. Hey, I was just curious. What? Obviously, you have experience in the recruiting department with your previous job, but what does that look like for you now? The recruiting element of it, especially with everything that's going on in the world.
Well, you know, I'm gonna echo what I said before. Everybody, it's not just us. Everybody's in the same boat. Everybody has the same avenues of recruiting now, you know, dealing with the COVID. We're no different. So our Zoom is on, you know, we're Zooming every single day. We're on the phones, and, you know, we're talking to kids just like other schools are. Just trying to be the best version of us. Trying to get the best caliber kids, talent-wise, but at the same time, most importantly, getting good character kids, academically, obviously, talent-wise on the court, but at the same time, we're looking for the total package. It's a goal of ours to make sure we have great kids. That's important to me. At the end of the day, the recruiting is recruiting. You know, that's something that, you know, that's the easy part for me. You know, having a conversation with a kid, having a conversation with a family, just basically expressing my gratitude for allowing me to recruit their son, allowing me, because once a parent send their kid to you, they're trusting you with their kid. So at the end of the day, we want to get those kids graduated. I echo that. And we want to make sure they turn into men when they do graduate.
All right, we'll go to John Zener next, and then Ron, we'll get you unmuted and let you go after John.
Coach John Zener with Associated Press.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. You went to a school that you know, with a $100 million budget and everything, and all kinds of resources to help academically and everything. Here, you maybe have to do a little less with more with less. Do you kind of? Is it hard? Can you comprehend that challenge and the opportunities it presents to help these kids along academically as well?
Well, one thing about it, Alabama State is a great university. The resources, what's available for us is really what we need. You know, we can get it done with what we got. I come with a lot of people around me that already has reached out to me for support. So we will get some support. We will get the things that we need to get done. I don't foresee that being an issue by no means.
All right, Ronald Wallace, you should be unmuted at this point. You can go ahead and ask your question, then we'll get to you, Adam. You'll be after Ron.
Hey, how you doing, Coach? Ron Wallace from Ballin' Down South Sports Network down here in the Mobile region.
How you doing?
Pretty good, Coach. I think Alabama State has definitely made a good hire in hiring you. Can't wait to see you out there coaching. What are some of the first things you know that you have to do in order to build a successful program there at Alabama State?
Well, obviously, connect with your team and get them to believe in your vision and believe in where you're trying to take them. Get them to understand and see what lies ahead of them. Get them motivated to be successful. You know, all those things compiled in one creates a culture. And that's what is my first goal, is to create the culture for these kids to be successful. And also these kids are successful, obviously the university is successful. And that's the ultimate goal.
All right, we'll go to Adam. You're next.
Coach, last year, Alabama State had one of the tougher early season schedules in the entire country. Tennessee, Oregon, VCU, Gonzaga. What are your thoughts on having those type of schedules and running into those type of powerhouse programs early on?
Well, you schedule. At the same time, we're working on our schedule now. We're going to have some games in there like that, but at the same time, we want to compete. It doesn't really matter who you play. Obviously, our conference game is very important. So the more you can get prepared for conference play, playing that type of competition. But it's also important, to play teams non-conference that you can compete with and beat and potentially get some wins in there. So it's kind of hit or miss there. You want to have a good balance. You want to have a good balance, and that's the approach we take with schedule.
All right, we'll go to you, Paul Watson. We saw your hand raised.
Hey, Coach. Paul Watson from the Thunderbus podcast.
How you doing, Paul?
Doing good. How are you? So obviously, the team is coming off an 8-win season. What would you consider to be a successful year in 2021?
Well, a successful year for me is all my kids graduating or having a certain GPA that we set for, to have, making sure all those kids in the classroom are doing great. And I think, and mentally, physically, they're progressing and maturing. I think if we focus on those things on the court, we'll just fall into place because they're mentally and physically prepared.
Andre, go ahead. You're next. And then go ahead, Andre.
Okay. Coach, a couple questions ago, you spoke about culture. I know I asked earlier. You spoke about culture and vision. So my question is, coming in, what is that culture specifically you want to install, and what is that vision? Just the specifics of it.
Well, I'll start with the vision. Our vision is to be the best team in the conference by far. That's our vision. The culture that you set, obviously, you set a championship culture. And that starts with every guy being unselfish, not being about me. It's not about me, it's about you. So you want to drill that culture that us, we. It's not about me. And you drill that culture in there, and that all entails in what goes on the court, how you practice, how you prepare for a game, what you do when practice time is not mandatory, what you're doing on your own, how you carry yourself off the court, how you are academically in the classroom. All those things fall up under your culture, and that carries over to the court.
Okay, James, go ahead.
Coach, 2 quick questions. Number one, do you want your players to call you Coach Williams or Coach Mo? And secondly, how have you advanced as far as hiring a staff?
Well, we're in the process of finalizing the staff. It's not final. We're in the process. But at the same time, to answer your question, Coach Mo or Coach Williams, I get both. And neither one doesn't bother me. Neither one is disrespectful, so I'm good on either one.
Okay.
All right, we'll go to Derek Williams. Go ahead, Derek. Hold on, Derek. We're about to unmute you. Give us 2 seconds. Derek, see if you can unmute yourself. It won't let us unmute you here.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there you are. Go ahead.
I was finna say, Trav, you trying to lock me out of the press conference, man. Coach Mo, what's going on, man? Derek Williams, WVAS. Man, we go way back, man. We went to Bama together. Plenty of nights out there in Bryce Lawn, chilling out. But, man, speaking of staff, just how are you trying to put that together? With you being a new head coach, are you basically trying to put it together with a bunch of experience, or are you trying to get a lot of young, hungry guys in there that's going to hit that ground, beating it up and recruiting?
I would say a little bit of both. I think you hit it on the head. It's a great question. Obviously, you want to get experience, someone with a lot of experience that has been a head coach. And obviously, You want to get guys that's hungry, guys that has potential, like myself, someone that I see like myself in 2 years, they have the opportunity to go be a head coach somewhere, somebody young like that has that glow, has that bright moment where he can have that opportunity. And, you know, that's the staff that I vision. That's the staff that we're working on putting together.
All right. Anybody else have any other questions? I know we haven't heard. Go ahead, Stephen Gunner.
Hey, Coach Williams, how you doing? Stephen.
Stephen.
WSFA. Just you had asked earlier about growing up in Jackson, of course, Jackson State and SWAC being so prominent there in that city. Have you leaned on some of the guys that are in that Jackson circle, like Luther Riley, who was a high school coach who went, of course, to Alcorn, and Wayne Brandt, who's still at Jackson State? Have you already started to kind of lean on some of those guys of what to expect when you initially get started here in the SWAC?
Well, let me just kind of rewind that question. And I'm going to answer this question, but I wanted to kind of go the right way. I have a lot of respect for Wayne Brandt and Luther Riley. Both of those guys, before Wayne and before Luther became college coaches, they used to, run my camps when I was in the NBA. So I'm going to say that to say this. Now, with Wayne Brandt at Jackson State, still a good friend of mine, but he's an opponent. And when I play the game, if we're friends, we may be friends, but when we're on the court, that goes out the window. So for me, I want to beat Wayne Brandt every single time I play him. That's my goal. So me calling, giving advice, that's probably not going to happen. And I would probably say he's not going to give me too much advice if it's going to help me beat him. And that's my only goal, is to be the best team in the SWAC. And, I'm sorry for Jackson State that they're going to have to get some of this too.
All right, we'll go to James on his patio for the next question.
It is a deck. Patio is downstairs. Let's get that straight. This is for the athletic director. A change was made from 30 plus years, 25 plus years of a voice and a vision. When Mo Williams applied, how hard was it to convince those traditionalists that this was the right person?
Well, that's a great question. We as a committee felt that Coach Mo Williams was the right person. We do what's in the best interest always of Alabama State and our students. And when you looked at the criteria that we as a committee established, Mo Williams checked every box, from the energy, from the winning pedigree, from his hunger. He was hungry. That was something we wanted. We needed energy, and nothing against the predecessor, but Mo Williams, he was confident. And it's some things about winning, and he's won at every level, that you just can't teach. And so we really want to have someone who was a leader of men. That mentorship was extremely important to us. And Mo he was phenomenal throughout the process, and he stood atop. It was a unanimous decision amongst our committee to move forward with Mo as the next head coach.
All right, guys, anybody else got any more questions before we get ready to do it? All right, let's see a question from Dwayne Nash. We'll go ahead and unmute you, Dwayne, and you'll be ready.
Yes, this question is actually for Jennifer. Jennifer, how's it going?
Hey, Dwayne.
I know it's been a long time. I'll be reaching out to you in the near future. But this question, I just wanted to know exactly, how did you sell Alabama State to Coach Williams?
Say that. I'm sorry, Dwayne. I didn't hear you. It went in and out a little bit.
Oh, I apologize. My question was, how did you sell Alabama State to Coach Williams?
How did we sell? So Alabama State's a great job. It's a great place. Not to sound cliche, it's a great time to be a Hornet. So I really think the job spoke for itself. We had over 80 plus applicants inquire about this position. It was a hot job. And when you look at what we have to offer in our leadership with President Ross, with the department that I'm developing here, and the caliber of individuals that we're hiring, it doesn't take much to sell it, because it speaks for itself, our brand. So when you have Coach Williams, it was an automatic, people use marriage. I mean, it worked. And so it wasn't a hard sell. The fit was there. I'm really big on fit, and his style and his vision fit what we were looking for in our next head coach.
All right, anybody else got a question? All right, everybody, we appreciate your time. Those of you that have one-on-ones set up today, those start at 12:45. We'll start those with Stephen Gunner. If you have not submitted your one-on-ones that you want to do with Coach Williams, we still have availability on Friday. Today and tomorrow are pretty much booked throughout the day. We'll both be on with most of you throughout the day today, and then radio tomorrow. Again, we appreciate your time. If you have any more questions, if you need the statement about APR, which we mentioned at the beginning of this press conference, please reach out via email. I'll be glad to send that to you. But again, thank you for taking the time out today to join us on the first virtual press conference here at Alabama State. And we look forward to seeing you here in the future. And go Hornets as always.